What is happening, everybody? And welcome to another episode of GKDR's death ratio. GK's death ratio. There we go. I'll get that right one of these days. I like to string it all together. But I'm your host this evening, and I am joined by it's episode 24. We're on episode 24 in case you were wondering.
Yeah, 2-4. Big 2-4.
Yeah, the big 2-4. Next year, our next episode, our GKDR will actually be able to rent a car and a cabin. We're really proud of them.
Mm-hmm. Yep, lower car insurance.
I am joined. Yep, I am joined. Yeah, their rates are going to go down. It's going to be so good for them. I am joined this evening by the person who gets my stupid ass sense of humor, the Ocean Shrine himself, Ernell Pearson. Ernell, baby, how are you doing tonight?
Shark Daddy for Prez 2024.
Talk, right?
Yeah, I know. It's been a while. So yeah, today's a Tuesday. Today's my Monday at work, so I don't have a whole lot to have to relay to you guys, but I'm excited to be here. We have an air conditioner in here now. I can. Yeah. It's way too loud for me to have on during content. So unfortunately, I still have to like turn it off while we record. But once we're done recording, this bad boy's going right back on again. You know what I'm saying, boys? No more hot ass
at least
room.
The rooms the rooms cooled down, so it probably won't be too bad. But
exactly. That's what I'm hoping for. Like by the time that we're done with
this, it'll get warmer, but it won't be hot.
All the lights and stuff, they won't matter. Like it'll be warm, but it ain't gonna be like I'm sweating my titties off. You know what I'm saying? Like there I was, sweat on my titties. And yeah, this is all downhill from there. But today's a good Tuesday. I'm excited to talk about video games with you boys today. Let's do it.
Hell yeah. We are talking about video games.
Yes, sir.
We are also joined by Twitch's very own DJ Sinfix. DJ, how are you doing this Tuesday?
Good, brother. Just chilling. My mom finally got her car fixed, so tomorrow heading to the gym, you know.
Oh yeah, baby.
Gains back. Yeah, get back at it. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah.
You starting
what have you been up to? What have you been doing on your Tuesday since then?
Yeah.
Like, what have you been doing with your day since you're carless?
Nothing much, man. Just ate McDonald's and fucking chilling, playing video games.
Right.
The opposite of tomorrow. He's been doing the opposite of tomorrow.
What's the order though?
Yeah. What's the McDonald's order?
It's a double quarter pounder with cheese and a 10-piece nugget.
You know, I've actually never had a quarter pounder with cheese.
Oh my god, it's one of my favorite things.
Double quarter pounder with cheese.
I've been going to McDonald's my whole life, and I've never had a quarter pounder with cheese. I almost got one the other day, but I decided on a Big Mac instead.
Hold on. I cannot believe I forgot to talk about this yesterday. Garrick, I tried Cane's. Finally.
Shit, dude!
No shit.
I tried Cane's finally on Sunday. I finally did it. I fucking finally did it, dude.
The only everybody that matters about the Cane's conversation is right here anyway.
Yeah.
So honestly, go off. See,
Cane's episode, Raising Cane's episode.
Yeah, dude, for real. Yeah, video games, dude.
I'm gonna pass the buck back to Ernell really quick. I gotta hear about this.
Okay, so I'll give you my very quick rundown here. It's fine. I think it's fine. I don't think it's bad by any means. I was a little bit bummed that they do crinkle cut fries. Their
fries.
Like it was fine. I was a little bit like, I feel like these should be waffle fries. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they should be waffle fries. Because their chicken feels like it matches well with waffle fries.
You're a Chick-fil-A sympathizer, dude. That's what.
No, I fucking hate Chick-fil-A.
Like.
Chick-fil-A is KFC without the gravy, dude. Like that's all it is. Fuck Chick-fil-A. The slaw was slaw. Which I'm literally
sure is why. The slaw?
No. Listen. I had to try everything.
Oh,
so I got the slaw and I got 2 pieces of toast. Per Garrick's recommendation. I remembered that one.
Yeah, you got to get the extra toast, man.
You got the extra toast.
Did you dip your toast in the cane sauce?
I sure did, and I will happily say, gentlemen, that toast was fucking fire, bro. That toast is so good. The sauce was pretty damn good too. I was pretty stoked about the sauce. It elevated the chicken in all the right ways.
Like the chicken itself is like not super. It's like the actual tenders are like 7 out of 10. Like what makes them good is like they're just never dry. Like they're always juicy.
I will
Like,
give you that.
It's very they're very consistent, like sort of
Okay.
thing. Like
I like it.
because I've had better chicken strips than Cane's.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right? Like better tendies.
It's just
But, like,
it's another vehicle
like,
for the sauce, and it's good enough.
yeah,
you
it's
know?
but like it's all about the cane sauce and the toast. And
Yes.
what'd you get to drink? Did you get an Arnold Palmer, sweet tea?
I actually went with high C, but only because I was already waiting in this drive-through line for 45 minutes. And I was
Damn.
like, yeah, it was popping off, dude. They had Washington State patrol officers helping the
No
organization
fucking
of this
shot.
drive-through line.
Like,
It was
correct.
fucking
That's
bonkers, dude.
bro.
That's
2 drive-through
insane.
lines going
Is
from
it like fresh open?
it's fresh open. The 16th,
That's
it
why.
just
That's
opened.
why.
Yeah.
That's why.
So people in
yeah.
Washington were like, "Oh, we're gonna go fight," and I like forgot until I was like on my way to band stuff, and I was kind of like, "Oh shit." Skirt, you know what I'm saying? Like just
Yeah,
rolled my
dude.
ass in there, and then I like pulled up, and I was like, "Oh no, skirt!" And yeah, first cop you pull up to him, and he's like, "Drive through or walk in," and I was like, "Not walk in." He was like, "All right, drive through, follow that guy there." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And there was another cop who was like leading you to which separating line you're going to. And there was another cop who was just trying to make sure all the cars were like going where they were supposed to going. And there was another cop that was making sure that the cars weren't stopping on like the crosswalk area. It was fucking wild, dude. It was wild. But yes, final score 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 so far. I want to try.
I can respect that.
I want to
respect that.
try their chicken sandwich because that's what I'm really in for chicken places for, is that fucking chicken sandwich.
Nah, don't do it, dude.
Not
Don't do
here,
it?
man.
Don't do it?
Not
Okay.
here.
Okay.
It's legit
Okay.
just tendies on a bun.
It's just the
Okay,
tenders on a regular like sandwich bun, dude. It's,
The bun's decent, but like
but you
Okay.
can
Just make
sub
your
the
own.
you can sub the bun with the toast.
that's what I'm
Instead.
saying. And honestly,
Yes.
dog,
Yes.
just get the
No.
Caniac combo and just make that bitch
And just
yourself.
make it yourself.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Yeah. See,
Fuck.
it's the
God
dude
damn, okay.
Caniac
Just
combo.
cut out the middle.
Sub the slaw, extra toast, dude. That's all
Okay.
you need.
Okay. All right.
And a lemonade or
All
Arnold
right.
Palmer, large lemonade or
Yeah.
Arnold Palmer.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm here for
Or
it. I'm
sweet
here for it.
tea.
Well,
I
I'm,
was
sorry,
thinking
I'm sorry
sweet
for totally fucking derailing DJ's intro thing. My bad, guys. I just needed to make sure I got that on
No,
my
no,
chest.
no,
because
that's
I
valid. That's
like,
valid.
No, it's okay.
the-
We
you
had
two
to-
are the
we had to
ones that have been
discuss
trying to get me to try this for so long. So I finally, I was like, I
love
have to.
these
I have to mention it. So, anyways, Garrick, what are we doing today?
Thank you for sharing your Canes experience. Ernell, we're not talking about Canes anymore,
Sure
but
not.
today we are talking about Shadow of the Game of the Year, Concord, but not that city in California. The FTC says I told you so, and much more, because this is Good Kraken's Death Ratio, and we're soul ashing through the podcast space to be your source for all the nerdy video game news, reviews, and discussions that you want to hear live each and every Tuesday at 7 p.m. West Coast, Best Coast time. If you want to get ahead of that curve, though, you can head on over to our Discord channel where you can submit questions and topics to the show, get exclusive content, and have early access to episodes before they go live on the podcast and video services wherever you like to watch or listen. But if you spent all your credits in another shop, that's totally fine, because you can watch us record this show live and for free right here at twitch.tv/Good Kraken Show. And also, if you have Amazon Prime, tell them, DJ.
Prime Gaming.
I like that he just does it in the style of the drop now.
Fucking yeah,
you also
baby,
have
let's go.
Twitch Prime, and we would love for you to give that to us so we can help level up our game. You can also support us by going over to our YouTube channel, though, clicking that beautiful bell, big red button, or subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Death Ratio on your preferred platform and leaving a review there.
Review.
For now.
Review. Great, thank you. We have some critical hits coming up. Just some brief ones. We recorded an episode just last night, you guys, of the Shipwreck Show. That's available for all of you guys now to go check out. It gets a little real. It gets a little real.
That's for sure.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
we definitely pull back the curtain and give you a little peek into the inner mechanisms of our minds and lives a little bit more. So yeah, it was a very insightful episode, if you will.
Gotta put it that way. The inner workings of our minds. What is that from? But that's from something.
The inner mechanisms of
That's
my
right.
mind.
That's
are
Patrick.
the-
That's right.
Patrick Star. Also, we have merch on the way.
This is
And that should be
Patrick.
here. Is this a Krusty Krab? No, this is Patrick.
Embarrassing photo
Uh,
from the Christmas party.
yeah, dude. Fucking absolutely. I love SpongeBob.
I love
Sorry.
SpongeBob so much.
We have
dude.
merch on the way, folks. We finally got our sample order figured out. That should actually be here, I think, by the end of the week for us. And then once we have verified that everything we received is of quality for you all, it's gonna happen. And then you guys will be able to participate in that as well. So that's what we have for you guys on that front. DJ, why don't you tell the people at home though what we have coming up next?
Well, Garrick, our illustrious host, we are going into the chapter select.
Ding, ding, boom.
Beep, 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 beep.
Chapter
Been a
one.
while, dude.
I was like, yeah.
Those are like,
Every time we talk about like chapter select, I always have like just the image of like the Super Nintendo like 32-bit graphics where it's just like it literally snaps into place and you like chapter select. I see it in my mind's eye every time we do
I
that
feel
segue.
you. I feel you, dog. I
But
feel
yeah, we haven't done hands-on segments for you guys in a while.
Sure haven't.
I tried to do 2 for you guys a few weeks back, but news took priority because Xbox was doing Xbox things.
It was
we'll
get into it.
wild stuff, my friend.
Yeah, it was wildly changing for us. So we're deep diving a little bit more into that because the discussion has changed even further since then. But before we get to that, we want to talk to you guys about some things that some of us have been playing at home. DJ, I am going to pass the ball off to you first. DJ has been playing the Elden Ring expansion, Shadow of the Erdtree. So, DJ,
Yes,
why
sir.
don't you hit us off with that? What are your thoughts and impressions of the latest and probably only expansion for Elden Ring?
dude, man, I wrapped up this expansion basically like a week ago.
We could go.
And it was an arduous adventure. I'll tell you boys that much, man. It is, but it was worth every minute of suffering, dying, running back the boss, you know, and
as per the par for the course.
yeah. And I loved Elden Ring when it first came out. I still love it. I still love the game. I sometimes go back to play the base game through again, just try out different builds or complete NPC quests I may have missed in previous playthroughs. So this game really made me appreciate Souls games and games from FromSoft a lot. Dark Souls 3 was my first like, okay, I get the genre now. I understand. I'm just bad, skill issue, right? But Elden Ring really made me fall in love with the lore and the world building of From Software, like just the whole thing. And now with this expansion, it adds more to this lore and world and confirms some lore theories that have been circulating ever since the game's release, because people are still finding new information day in day out. But yeah, this expansion takes place in a different realm. It's the Shadow Realm, basically, and you access it by beating 2 core base game bosses, which is Radon and Moog. The Moog at his palace, not the one under the sewer. So you're required to beat those 2 bosses, arguably some of the hardest bosses in the base game. So, if you haven't beat those guys, sorry, you're not accessing the DLC. And once you do enter the Realm of Shadow, things work differently. You're not, you still have your levels and everything, but now you have to level up your shadow level, basically. And you get that by collecting these fragments, which boosts your damage negation, and it helps you do more damage to the enemies within this realm. So even if you were on New Game Plus 7, the max New Game Plus, and your level like the max of 400, 600, whatever level you are, max 99 stats, you're gonna get
It's
your
like
shit kicked in.
726.
Yeah, like
That's
you're
for
gonna get
sure.
your shit kicked in if you don't grab those fragments and increase your shadow level. Even the lowest of mobs will, like, even just a normal like mini boss will probably 2 to 3 hit you. I don't care if you have 99 vigor, you will fall. Okay, so which adds to the level of exploration in this expansion, because you have to go around and find these fragments, and they're scattered across the land. And this place is huge. No wonder this is the last expansion that they're ever gonna do for this game, because it's basically Elden Ring 1.5. Like this is I feel like they were lying when they said it's the size of Lanedale. It is way more than that. There's a lot of verticality, there's a lot of underground sections, there's a bunch of caves, there's just so much to do and see and so many people to talk to. Um it is super fun. Very difficult. I spent without knowing, I knew what the shadow fragments did, but I was like, all right, I mean, I'm like shadow level 2 or 3. I can go to this Western Mausoleum boss. You know, he's just a regular NPC boss, right? Brother, that guy two hit me. That guy two hit me every time, dude. And
Yeah,
I
he
was
does.
like, wow, I got completely humbled. Um, and then I realized, oh, the shadow level maxes out at level 20. So even like me at level 8, I went to try that boss again. I was still getting my shit rocked. I was like, oh fuck. But eventually beat him. But yeah, the shadow level thing is crucial to the gameplay in this expansion. There's also Reverend Spirit Ashes. So it's like another thing to level up your spiritual summons within the game. I'm not a pure Souls player, dude. I summon, okay? I get help, all right?
Anybody who says summons aren't valids are fucking loser. It's a goddamn mechanic included in the game.
Fake fan.
Yeah.
Fake fan.
So, hey, look, I still beat the bosses, okay? I beat all of the Remembrance bosses in the expansion. I could bring up receipts. I have them all. I screenshotted every single one. And if I didn't, I have the Remembrance Soul still. And if I didn't have that, I used that to get an item from the boss. So I digress. And I beat Melania first try, not on camera. So I'm sorry. But you know what I mean?
Not on camera.
So,
I did that
you
with
can call me a
Radon,
fraud
so-
all you want. I still beat those bosses, okay? All right. I'm part of the elite 38% of PC players on Steam that have beaten Melania, okay? So, hop off my dick. All right? So, but
Tell him, DJ.
this expansion has been just it made me re-fall in love with this franchise and this game in particular, because the locales, the environment is so sick. It was great exploring it. The boss fights, oh my god, the music for the boss fights, absolutely incredible. The first real Remembrance boss I fought, and it's not a spoiler because everyone's been fighting this one. It's the Dancing Lion. It's
Oh
like
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
the Divine Lion Dancer, and oh my god, the first time I stepped into that arena, the music and the boss, dude, I was about to cry. Dude, I was like, this is awesome. This is so sick. Um, and with the implementation of this shadow level thing, the shadow tree fragments, you're constantly having to explore different areas that you probably wouldn't have if you were just like, oh, I'm level 726 or whatever the fuck. I'm just gonna watch the boss. I'm on torrent. I'm going like across the map, dude, and I fucking all of a sudden we start getting to these jagged caves and we're climbing this fucking mountain. All of a sudden we see fucking dragons and shit. I gotta fight dragons. I saw a fucking dragon. There was a dragon boss fight where there's 2 dragons. They're duking it out, and I just found it. I just so happened to just walk around that, and then I killed the dragon who killed the other one. And then at the top of the fucking mountain, there's a fucking boss fight that is just so epic. I spent a whole day. I spent one whole day, collectively, like if we count up the hours, probably a whole day, like just fighting this one boss to where I swear to God, I perfected his entire phase 1 and almost phase 2 moveset. But oh my God, it's so sick. This expansion is goated. This is some of the best. This is the best expansion I've ever played, hands down,
All
ever
right.
played ever in my life.
That's
okay?
big, man. That's a big
Second to
deal.
this would probably be Phantom Liberty. Second to this is Phantom Liberty.
Yeah, with that
but-
being said, I have heard like there are people that have, given it some critical feedback that have said that the expansion is in fact too difficult and that it loses some points for them due to that. Do you think it is legitimately too difficult?
No, because I saw those same criticisms, right? I saw those same criticisms. I believe that those people who say the game is too hard didn't collect the Shadow Tree fragments. I swear,
You think?
like 80% of Elden Ring players don't read anything. They literally
Yeah.
do
I'm
not
in
read a
agreement with
single
you
thing.
on that, DJ. Because when I was seeing the feedback about it being too difficult, it was very early after its release. Very early after its release. And I bet you people were just trying to brute force the entire
Exactly. Like that's why I
Like,
said, like, even if
campaign.
you're new game +7 or however level you fucking did that rune exploit where you killed that dragon and ran back to the fucking the grace and in the base game, it's not gonna help you. Literally, the Shadow Tree fragments boost your damage negation so you don't get fucking 2 hit. You still get hit hard. Even at like I'm still at shadow level 19. I didn't get max shadow level and I was still getting hit pretty hard, but it felt playable and a little bit more easier on me. But even if I felt under leveled, I still was able to pull stuff out. You know what I mean? I'm
right,
pretty
that's when the
sure
skill factor came into play.
exactly. And the second boss that you kind of have to fight is Rolana. She looks like she has the 2 swords. She looks like Pontiff Sullivan from fucking Dark Souls 3.
Yeah. Right.
And a lot of people were struggling with her, and I did not struggle with her at all. Like it took me a few tries, of course, but I got her moveset down pretty fast, and it felt pretty easy. And that was because I went around and got fragments. I'm pretty sure if you didn't, you would probably struggle a ton. Like she would probably 2-hit you if you didn't get any fragments and you try to brute force it.
Was she the one with like the fire sword and the ice sword?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
That
it
one.
definitely seemed, from my understanding, just because I haven't played it yet, obviously, like just outside looking in, that this expansion was designed so that nobody would be able to walk through it,
Yeah.
because they're on New Game Plus and they're max rune level and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, and they really, I know that like the developers even said they really wanted to push the boundaries of what players could tackle. Do you think this is like, are we looking at like a magnum opus situation here? Like, do you think From Software is going to be able to like even top Elden Ring and Shadow of the Erdtree? I'm
Dude,
genuinely asking.
Miyazaki said that this was a step in the right direction for him. So he's quoted saying that.
The right
Not
direction?
exactly.
That's a big dick
He
swing,
said-
man.
he said
That's a big dick swing quote.
It's good enough, but he's like, I don't know the exact quote, but he was said in an article, an interview, that he said that Elden Ring was like good enough for what they were able to do. Like he has a bigger dream. There's something bigger than this that he wants to try. And I don't know what that is. That comes straight from the horse's mouth, dude. I don't.
To me.
It gets
you know,
bigger
and I thought-
than Elden Ring, dog. Imagine that.
Dude, I thought
Like-
we all thought when Elden Ring came out this is the
I thought it
magnum
was
opus.
it. I thought it was
It was
it.
it.
Yeah.
Right? It was
Like-
the thing. But no, I feel like Miyazaki said he's cooking something extra, dude. He's got something else. They got something
That's
else over there.
wild, dude. That is
So
wild.
I don't know. Might be Bloodborne 2. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I have no clue.
I need
but,
that. I need that. Is
But
what I
for
need.
right now, I think this is as good as it's gonna get. right now, because this expansion just told me and reminded me how special this game is. And it rewards you for trying to explore and go look around, to explore and look at different caves and talk to different NPCs, fight different enemies, fight different bosses, get your gear up so then you can face those harder bosses towards the end of the game. Um yeah, man. And the music, dude. The music in this is so good. The boss fights feel so. I felt so immersed and it felt so cinematic and epic. Just listening to this music, I sometimes even just like I just forget that I'm fighting the boss. I'm just listening to the music in the boss arena, dude. I'm just fucking like. There's one boss. He's not pertinent to the story, so I'll reveal him. But he is tied to like a cool NPC quest. It's a dragon fight named Bale the Dread. I know a lot of people don't like dragon fights, but I think this is the best dragon fight in any FromSoft game ever. This is the best dragon fight. The music,
Okay.
and I didn't even get to do the NPC quest. You have an NPC quest where you can summon an NPC to this fight, and he has some crazy voice lines within the boss fight that are really sick.
Is
I
this
didn't even get to experience
the
that.
crumbling Coliseum ass fucking dragon fight that's in the game? I never got a chance to do it, but I've seen tons of videos of this one particular
Yes,
dragon.
and the music in that fucking, every time I hear it, dude, gives me chills.
Heat. Fucking
and
straight heat.
It's heat, dude. It's fucking incredible. Yeah, dude. And the final boss, a lot of people complain about the final boss. He is very hard. I believe he
As
is
it should
harder
be.
than Melania. He is harder than Melania for
Good.
sure.
Final bosses should be.
Like, let me put it into perspective. People were changing, like a majority of people were changing their builds once they got to the final boss.
Mm.
I've
Like
heard
to
that.
the same build, to mostly the same build that they know that can beat this particular boss. Like you didn't see that from Melania. You just saw like, oh, it's straight up like I just got to get better. Like
Honestly,
Yeah,
I
right.
don't. I have like a hot take about Millennia.
mhm.
I think she's punishing but not difficult.
Yeah. She's not like
Sure.
she really just like she skill checks you. Like it's
Yeah,
like,
like
oh,
Mhm.
you're
if
just
you
dodging
panic
side to
roll,
side.
if you panic roll in that fight, you're fucked.
Mhm.
Like you can't do that
Yeah.
with Millennia. But I digress.
Yeah.
DJ, I have one last question. Do you have any qualms or negatives that you felt like, or any things that like that rubbed you the wrong way? And if there's not, maybe there isn't. But I feel like you've pretty much given this thing an outstandingly glowing up and down praise. But
Yeah.
I just got to check really quick before we move on to Ernell and you for the next one. Was there anything that rubbed you the wrong way?
Yes, a little bit. There is a few things. Not a few, but like just it's small in terms of the scale of this whole expansion. There is some performance issues. Especially in
Not
some
something
of
we saw
the
in the base game.
yeah.
Mhm.
Especially in the final boss fight and some of the later game boss fights, in later expansion boss fights. There is a lot, especially the final boss fight. There's so much going on that your frame rate will drop considerably for like a second, and that could
Oof.
mean everything within a fight.
Yeah.
But I mainly saw it on PC. I've seen a lot of PC players have this, so I don't know about the console aspect. So maybe console players are good on that. But it's definitely on
Right, but
PC.
you're reviewing it from the what you had
Yeah,
yours on, and you had some hiccups, so valid.
yeah. There is some hitbox issues, and I think they're fixing with a certain boss. It's a boss on basically a mount, and that mount has a large hurt box, and people, even if they dodged it correctly and they timed it, they were still getting hit by
Oh,
like the edge of it.
the boar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
it like its
So
hitboxes,
yeah, so
It's
like that
pretty
one's
gross.
pretty wonky, but I think they're trying to fix that. I don't know when that update's gonna roll out, but they're going to fix that soon, so that'll definitely be ironed out. And then third, just the final boss fight. Also, it is very difficult. Like, I think if those reviewers and early players of the game got to that boss fight and then said the game was difficult, I would agree. But that final boss fight, I had to summon two people. I summoned two people for that fight. I was not gonna beat that guy on my own. Once you can get the first phase down pretty well. But the second phase, it is something completely different, man. That it fucking whatever you thought. I mean, it's still like the same principle as the first phase, but just a little bit extra, and that little bit extra just fucks you up, fucks the rhythm up. And also, I think it's just a FromSoft thing. Like, I just don't think they know how to make a good final boss, if that makes sense. Like, it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't feel that like amazing.
Yeah, their final bosses are never like the standout of like any of their given titles.
Yeah.
Except for the kiln. I think the King in Dark Souls was pretty fucking dope, but that's just me.
Yeah, but
opinion.
Yeah. And that was cool too, but like, like I feel like they just like they make every other boss so sick and so cool that then they get to the final boss like, well, fuck, dude, we just gave it everything to everyone else. Like, we just ran out of ideas. Yeah, dude. But yeah, those are my three only qualms about that, and they're pretty minor in the whole scale of it.
All right, then. Without further ado, well, even though it is an expansion, we're going to rate it the same way. Is this a play now, wait for sale, deep sale, or hard pass?
Dude, play it now, man. You're like, I don't care if you haven't beaten Radon, haven't beaten Moog, haven't even beaten the base game. Beat the fucking base game, or at least beat those bosses and head into the DLC, because it just gives you more of what you want from a game like this. And it's just epic, and it's so satisfying going through this expansion. Highly recommend.
There you have it, folks. DJ's hands-on review of Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erdtree, which he gives a play it now. So if you've already got a copy of that there base game, get your hands on it and get to it, Tarnished. Now, Ernell and DJ, you guys also got to play another game recently, and you guys got to engage in the next Sony title that they are trying to make a success out of, that is going to be coming to PC and PlayStation 5. This is going to be the second title they've ever done this with, Helldivers 2 being the first.
Yes, sir.
And these guys here got to go. I haven't been playing shit lately, as you guys can see, but these guys got to go hands-on with that open beta, and lordy, there's no NDA, so we are talking about it here for y'all today. Ernell, I'm going to pass you the buck first, please. What are your initial impressions of Concord?
Yeah, dude. New Valorant. I mean, Concord was a fine time. We for anyone that doesn't know what Concord is, it is a game that was pretty freshly announced that is supposed to be PlayStation's kind of answer to Overwatch in a weird way, and it's having something a little bit more in-house in comparison of a champion shooter, if you will. And they really went all mosey in, because this is a purebred Guardians of the Galaxy competitive champion shooter type game. That if you're into those kind of games, you're gonna have a great time with this. I think that there's some really interesting stuff here that me and DJ will get a chance to talk about. But firstly, I want to start with the kind of good stuff with the bread and butter of this. The game looks really good. The game is real fucking pretty. There's some pretty frequent cutscenes that you get. Surprisingly so, this game has a story Question mark. And the character art on these characters looks fucking immaculate. It feels real nice playing this on PlayStation. I did not get the PC side of things. DJ got a chance to experience that. But all of those cutscenes look amazing. The UI stuff is a little bit funky, but they look really good generally speaking, because we have this sort of sci-fi theme that we're going for that is very retro sci-fi, if you will. But of course, the most important part for us to get into here is the combat stuff, because that's what 90% of this game is the rotationary combat, going into arena battles and just fighting off against 5 people in different game modes. We got all sorts of control matches as an unlockable game type that you can get after you've reached a certain level. The initial ones that you get, and I can't quite remember, DJ, but I think the first pool had an equivalent of...
It's team deathmatch and like kill confirmed.
Kill confirmed. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, and team deathmatch, and those are the ones that we pretty much started on. DJ got a chance to play a few games prior to me and Devin ever jumping in on our stream last week, and so DJ was able to kind of experience a few different matches prior to us going into it. And DJ was kind of explaining to us some of the expectations to temper when we first went into it. So when we first saw trailers for this game, the initial announcement showed gameplay, and we were like, oh shit, this looks like a weird Destiny champion shooter with some like Valorant stuff in there. And we were like, okay, cool, that actually sounds pretty fun. And we start up stream, and DJ's first thing that he says is, it is not what you think it is. It was pretty much the idea. And come to find out, Garrick Bartholomew Eaton, it is not what you think it is. This game is not as smooth as you would expect for something where the gameplay looked very close to Destiny's combat in the gameplay trailer. It is, but it's not clunky either. It is very...
a lot of weight.
There's a bit of a weight because of how the characters are made. And that's the part that like feels overwatchy. Well, the characters move and feel a very specific way that one could argue is kind of clunky, but it also kind of depends on what character you're using. However, there's also a sort of weird like relative comparison between how they effectively just move versus other shooters. DJ's equivalent comparison was closer to Quake. And how the characters move and how you combat other people. The game is very, very skills and abilities focused rather than just shooty.
Not necessarily the primary form of engagement.
That is right.
Yeah.
And like you are engaging with your guns, and each character has a different style of gun that they use, different sort of abilities that they each individually have. Something I'll allow DJ to kind of dive into here in a second is there's also different variants of these characters that you can get that have different kinds of abilities, which will, like I said, I'll let DJ to kind of spread into that because he kind of experienced more than that than I did. But I think generally speaking, this game's got some stuff, both good and bad, that one, in some terms, I actually really enjoyed. I can see why someone would not enjoy those things though. Because for me, it was like a fun, quirky, like, oh yeah, this is a little bit over the top and ridiculous, right? But there was something fun about the rotation of the gameplay, and combined with doing matches, you're not tied down to that one character you pick at the beginning of the match. Every time you die, you can pick a different character. You can actually pick a different character actively throughout the match. If you want the next time that you die to just automatically you have this character, you can do that. So you're actively changing up characters to actively pursue the tactics that the opposing team are utilizing based on what characters that they're choosing.
Also, no dupes as well. There's no duplicate. You can't have two of the same character.
Yes. Yeah. So they do gray those out. Yeah. So you're now, I think the opposing team can pick the same character, if I remember.
Yes,
correctly.
they can.
Just your team cannot dupe. So yeah, you are locking down characters on that. I think the last thing I want to say before I hand it to DJ, and then we can kind of join in for our final thoughts here. The characters in this game make the game, because the abilities are so specific to those characters in ways that, like I said, kind of feel Overwatchy. In that, like, when you're picking that character, you're not just picking them because of how they look or like just their abilities. There's a feel to them. Where for example, there's one character named Hamar that feels as close to Destiny's Warlock as you can possibly get without being Destiny's Warlock, right? So she's got the same sort of like hover movement across the sky. She throws fireballs that like shoot in a line that catches on fire. She has like the snap spell that shoots out this like ball thing at enemies. And she runs a crossbow that's sort of a like explosive bolt, pretty much, that takes a little bit of a second to reload, but that movement of the hover type is really why you pick her, along with those very quick spells, right? And she's one of the sort of like mid to long range characters that they have. They also have obviously tank characters, right? So we have guys like Starchild, and what's his name, One Off, the big robot guy, DJ.
Yeah, One Off.
Is this like class archetypes?
Yeah, there's One Off, and it's One Off and Amira. Starchild is more of like a berserker character. He's like a bruiser. He's not
a brute. Yeah, he's more of a brute kind of guy. So yeah, One Off and Amari, they're the ones that are like the big hosses, because like One Off's is like massive goofy robot guy, and Amari's just like this massive woman with a fucking chain gun. It's crazy, dude. And she can like pop a shield up and like stuff like that. It's really dope. Starchild and who is the other? Is it Daw technically?
No, Daw's a healer. It's fuck. It's like it's the chick with a grenade launcher, and I totally forgot.
Yeah, I know, me too. So let
me look it up.
Starchild is the big guy that we see. That's pretty much Drax in like the cutscenes and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And his character, he runs like a shotgun, but his abilities, he gets one that allows you to like charge directly at an enemy, and then you can like shoulder charge them when you run into them. But while you're running towards them, his skin turns into diamond, so he can't take damage until after he's made the impact, right? And then he has another ability that allows him to like slam down like a hammer on the ground and do like a small like AoE like big explosion effect. And so like what me, Devin, and DJ were doing is Devin was trying to like get his reins to like which character like felt good for him. He really wasn't having a very good time. And I think a lot of it was just because he hadn't quite clicked with the characters he was playing with yet. Once he got onto Hamar, he was like, okay, yeah, I'm kind of feeling it again. But DJ was playing healer after our first couple of matches, and he was slaying with this dog guy who can throw like healing pads down on the ground, and we would just like lock down a zone, and he would just throw pads down over and over and over again until we were pretty much just standing in the circle healing infinitely, and he was just locking it the fuck down. And then I was rotating between like a quick character and then like Starchild. And I, like, anytime that they had like a big guy, I was like rushing that big guy as fast as I possibly fucking could. It's really, really cool dynamic because it had this really cool feel of Overwatch without being Overwatch, Rainbow Six Siege without the responsibility of Rainbow Six Siege, with some of the cool like abilities and stuff that you see in a Valorant, right? And I think that this game is a lot of different things that are going to make this as successful as it could possibly be. There's obviously some qualms, but I'll get there. DJ, though, what are your kind of thoughts that you've been having, man?
Yeah, dude, this game it was surprising to me. Like I knew it was. I saw the reports that the people who got to play it early, they said it was okay. Like no one said it was bad. So when I got into my first match, I was like, oh, this feels weird. Definitely feels different. Like there's a character. He's generic white guy number 3. His name is Teo, and he has like a rifle. You know, he has a sprint and a double jump or a dodge or like a dodge roll. And I was just trying to just play the game just off mechanics. And that's when I realized, oh shit, this game is not about that. It's not about how well you can point and click or aim your rifle or whatever. It's really centered around the characters, the heroes here. So it's more like more hero than shooter. You know what I mean? Like
almost like a MOBA.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like that. It's almost like a first-person MOBA, which is kind of crazy.
Well, I mean, Paragon was kind of the third-person answer to that from a shooter-wise. So maybe this is just kind of a first-person take on a similar thing.
Well, the cool thing is that this game can actually.
I mean,
switch.
obviously not.
You can actually switch
MOBA
back and
gameplay.
forth between first and third person in this.
Oh, you can.
Yeah,
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, it's crazy, and each character has unique abilities and a unique play style, and that's what I think makes this game different from like being a Overwatch, Destiny, Valorant clone. It sets itself apart differently enough, because like we said, there are tank characters, but they move slow, but they have like these cool abilities that are very useful to the team. So I think at like a higher level of play, we were predicting, me and my other buddy were talking about this, like, oh, like this character that we see is kind of like weak. There's a character called let me pull her up.
See?
Hips. Hips.
Yeah.
She has this silenced burst pistol that does no damage, basically. But her trait and her abilities are she throws cameras everywhere, and they'll reveal enemies through walls and stuff like that, and through smoke. And she also has disruption grenades that disrupt enemy ability. Yeah. So she, like a true utility support. And people who look at her and gravitate to her looks and try to play her like a regular hero shooter, they're gonna be like, why do I feel so weak? Like she's not intended to deal damage. You're intended to actually just throw your abilities out and let your teammates do damage. They're the ones that are on damage dealers. So there's a lot more team synergy and hero synergy than it is just straight up gunplay, which I think is pretty cool, because you can't just, translate your FPS skills from one game to this game. It's a different ballpark, and each character has different movement styles. Like some have a double jump, one person has a triple jump. Haymar, the warlock character, she has a glide. There's some that
only have one jump.
Yeah, there's a long jump and air dodge. There's just so much to these characters, and they look pretty cool, very interesting. The cinematics really bring them together. Come on, in a sense, like you'll grow to like these characters through the cinematics. But they're really cool just by themselves. And they all have different weapons, and each of the weapons have different abilities too. Some of them. Which is really cool.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it's very MOBA inspired.
It really is, and I was gonna speak on the traits. So
yes,
each character has a variance of character. So like let's take there's a duelist character, Lennox. He has a hand cannon. And, he's the Cole Cassidy of Concord. So, his variant 1, his trait is he reloads his equipped weapon after he dodges. So, after he dodges, which comes back pretty regularly, like every 3 seconds, he reloads his weapon automatically. But his second variant, that you unlocked after like a few levels, I believe. Like everyone got his second variant, even if you didn't play him.
Yeah.
His second variant is instead of that, he gets an extended mag for both of his hands. So there adds another layer of strategy, I guess, in gameplay, because you might want the extra amount of bullets to secure kills, but you won't have the like automatic reload when you dodge. So, you know, you're giving up one or the other.
Picking to your play style.
And also what's cool is that there's these crew bonuses for characters. So that's where the classes come from. So, there are a few classes. There are the anchors, which are the tanks, warden, which are like the...
It's probably like your warriors.
Why not?
Your bruisers.
Yeah, the DPS, like they're longer range.
Oh, they're your ADCs.
Basically, haunts, which are like there's a character named Itzy. She's like a tracer type character. She's very fast, very evasive. There are your rangers, your tacticians. That's the Kip's class. Like she's the one who does the active stealth and stuff like that, and cameras. Tacticians. Warden, Lennox is a warden. Haunt, again, the primary DPS and evasiveness. And Starchild, he's a breacher, so he has faster dodge cooldown. Yeah, so wardens are the longer range, rangers are like the medium, like not primary damage dealers, but you know they can do damage. Breachers are the kind of bruiser characters, and yeah, and tacticians are like usually healers or support characters. So each of those classes have a bonus to them. So like as a haunt has improved mobility. So the DPSs have improved mobility. And so there's a thing called you can create a crew. So it's in your character customization where you take a select like eight characters and you put them in a crew. And so when you choose these characters, you activate their crew bonus, right? So let's say I put in 2 rangers, 2 tacticians, and 2 breachers, right? And so when we get into a game and my team picks any one of those characters I put in that crew, you get that crew bonus for each of them.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that kind of it's like there's like a board. There's like a passive board that League of Legends uses that kind of reminds me like of that
Kind
similar
of.
mechanic.
It kind of is like that,
you
but
build,
I think
you build your board and then that's like those are like the passives that you can take into the match with you.
Mm-hmm. If your teammates take those characters,
Play those particular, right.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get like teammate bonuses, that's sick.
Yeah, and so and those bonuses help you out throughout the match, and it's really sick. And so another layer of gameplay, and so it's just so many things with these characters, different abilities, different movement styles, different weapons. There's so much to this game that I think people would just ignore if they like. It really is like when we said Devin was having a hard time. I really told him like throughout his time playing, like I think it's just finding the character you like to play.
Yeah,
because like a lot of these characters might feel really bad when you try to pick them up because they're not part of your playstyle. Like after Devin switched to Haymar, he's like, oh shit, like I get the game because this is fun. Like I can play this way and that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ernell with Teo, he's the white guy number 3. He has smoke. He throws smoke, and he has a sight on his gun that helps him see through smoke and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he has cluster grenades. And I got onto Daw. He's a healer, and he can throw down healing pads that stay throughout the entire game, unless they're destroyed. So he throws healing pads down that are like basically permanent unless you shoot them. And then he has like a fucking safety dome. He has a Gibraltar fucking dome that he throws down that lasts for a few seconds. And
Yeah.
it's pretty sick, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool character individuality that they put in this game, and I think that's kind of like the biggest selling point that they really have for this. Unfortunately, though,
Like, speaking of selling points, because I don't want to spend too much time on this, you guys have covered pretty much everything. With this being a beta, obviously I'm not going to have you guys rate it, but I do have one and only one question that I would like you guys to answer in regard to Concord. Typically speaking, games in this genre are free to play. Concord is not. Concord is going into a competitive market with a $40 price tag, and I want to know if you guys think that is a DOA sentence for this title or not.
I personally do not think it's DOA. I think it will be the thing that they struggle with the most. Because this game should not be more than $20, to be honest with you. I just don't feel like there is enough that this game offers in its current state to be justified even for the $40 price point. There's just not enough activities. There's not enough things to do. I'd argue, not even enough characters yet to really kind of like allow
What's the
people.
roster size?
I think
It's
it was
small. It's
12, 16. Well, let me
I'm
count
looking
real
at it
quick.
again.
Anything less than 20 is
1,
rough.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Yeah.
That's rough. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
rough. That's
yeah.
real small.
It's real tiny.
And like, I'm sure they have intentions to add like future characters, but like 16 at launch is not a very big pool. Like, for a game like that.
Yeah, and there's like really like they're so diverse that it makes up some of that ground, but it's also so diverse that like it doesn't make up some of that ground. You know what I mean? Like, that's such a weird way to say that, but like once you find your character, you don't really find any reason to really like go after like another character. Like, obviously you want to play all of them to kind of like better understand like how they each individually work. But once you get your one or two, you're locked down to those 1 and 2. And then at that point, it's like, okay, well, can I do this character? Well, in the first sort of like stock beginning of the game, you have 2 different match types you can do. And then you unlock 2 more, technically 1 more. And then after that, you unlock the like competitive, 5v5 elimination type, right?
Having to unlock game like match types is a little weird too. That's kind of an interesting choice.
It happens pretty quick. It does happen pretty quick.
But even so, like just like I because like I fucking literally like that's a big turnoff for me.
Yeah.
Because if I'm gonna play a game like that, I won't touch team deathmatch. Like, you couldn't put a gun to my fucking head to get me to play team deathmatch, dude. Like, I want objective based shit. Like, I don't want to have to worry about like I don't want my KDA to be like the make or break of like a game mode.
And we actually ended up gravitating more towards the control type game type that they had available in the first unlocked game mode. That was one that was the most fun for us. So I totally understand. It's
Overwatch, by the way, only originally released with 12. They had 12 original on their roster at launch.
And
Overwatch 1.
It was $40.
And it was $40.
And it was $40.
60 for the physical copy.
Yeah.
But they also learned their lesson, and that's why the follow-up title was free to play.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is like, I think when it comes to games like these, like, like everyone's just like, oh, they'll build the roster. And I was just like, over like years, people, like I want like a variety to play now. Like they're only like one of the reasons that Overwatch 2 was even so appealing was that like you had access to dozens upon dozens of characters from the jump. Based on depending on how you played the game. That is these guys' impressions of the Concord beta. That was that an open beta, closed beta?
It was an open beta. Open beta.
I'll say it was an open beta. We are not going to be giving this an official rating, obviously, because this game has not released yet. But we do have some concerns as to the $40 price tag. But if this is something that you guys are interested in, you guys can keep an eye out on that. This game does launch officially on August 23rd of this year.
Yes, sir.
So just about a month away, or literally a month away as of our time of recording this episode, anyways. And yeah, so if you guys want to spend $40 on a potential up and coming hero shooter, we'll let that be you guys to decide based off of our impressions here today. Without further ado, though, folks, we are going to be heading directly into the end game. Yes, I'm doing the segue. And we are going to be talking about the deepening and ongoing FTC versus Xbox appeal. Last week, I believe 2 weeks ago, we covered the price changes for the new models and tier models for the Xbox Game Pass. Since that has happened, the FTC has also viewed those same changes, and they literally here. You know what? I'm just gonna open the article from Joshua Wolens.
Do you want me to read it through? And I can probably burn through it really fast for you if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Ernell, if you want to read this little article from Joshua Wolens at PC Gamer,
I got you, man.
And please read the headline too, because I love that headline.
Absolutely. And we can kind of start and stop as we hit like main key points too.
Sure.
So to start out here, the title, FTC says, "I told you, Judge. I warned you, bro," as it unloads on Microsoft for Game Pass price hikes and a quote-unquote degraded product that it says break promises made to seal the Activision merger. So as we said, that's Joshua Wolens over at PC Gamer. Are you upset about the recent Game Pass price hike? Well, good news. So is the mighty American state, or part of it anyway. The U.S. Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, the country's antitrust and consumer protection watchdog, has submitted a filing to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in which it attacks Microsoft for quote-unquote introducing a degraded product with its new Game Pass standard tier. If you're not up to speed, Microsoft announced just over a week ago that it was overhauling its Game Pass subscription tiers across console and PC. Here's a quick breakdown of what changed. Now, here's the important stuff, okay? So everybody at home, we're going to run through this. Pay close attention because there's some very important information here.
Yeah, just keynotes. If you want the rigmarole, go watch our episode from 2 weeks ago. We get into it.
Yes. So firstly, PC Game Pass got a $2 price hike, going from $10 to $12 a month. We're going to be talking about that here in a second. Xbox Game Pass for console was replaced by Game Pass Standard for new subscribers only, which no longer had day one game releases, but does have online multiplayer, and which costs an extra $4 a month. People currently subscribe to Xbox Game Pass for console get to keep it and its day one games, sorry, my crystal fell, and its day one games for its current cheaper price until they cancel, at which point they'll never get it back. And then lastly, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate's offerings were unchanged, so subs will still get day one games, but it got a $3 price hike from $17 to $20 a month. Weird sentence. To me, that sounds like it changed. You don't have to be an antitrust lawyer to realize that that's a bit of a raw deal. The whole kit and caboodle is getting more expensive, and some tiers are even losing features in the process. That's what's gotten the FTC so riled up in its filing. The agency notes that a current Xbox Game Pass for console user wanting to keep their day one games, quote, must pay 81% more to switch to Game Pass Ultimate, and for anyone not willing to do that, Microsoft is introducing a degraded product, by which it means Xbox Game Pass Standard, which still costs 36% more than console Game Pass and withholds day one releases, end quote. The filing is dude. The filing is just part of the FTC's larger campaign against Microsoft's merger with Activision Blizzard, which finally closed last October. We all know about that. It seems remarkably unlikely now that Activision and Microsoft are officially intertwined that the merger will be rolled back, but the FTC is not giving in without a fight. In the filing, the agency notes, quote, Microsoft's price increases in product degradation combined with Microsoft's reduced investments in output and product quality via employee layoffs, and calls them, quote, the hallmarks of a firm exercising market power post-merger. End quote. It also notes that Microsoft sure forgot to mention this when it was talking a big game about the acquisition, giving Game Pass subs day one access to new Call of Duties. The FTC says, quote, Microsoft promised that the acquisition would benefit consumers by making Call of Duty available on Microsoft's Game Pass on the day it is released on console, with no price increase for the service based on the acquisition. And then lastly, as far as the FTC is concerned, Microsoft's decision to jack up the barriers to entry to day one Call of Duty for Game Pass users totally validate its doubt about that and, quote, thus vindicate the congressional design of their preliminarily halting mergers to fully evaluate their likely competitive effects and judicial skepticism of promises inconsistent with the firm's economic incentives. End quote. So, boil this down very, very hard. PC Game Pass users are getting a little bit of a come up, and everyone else is pretty much getting shafted.
Fucked. Getting so fucked, dude. So fucked.
Real bad.
And just
real bad.
This into like big picture scope. This is only talking about price hikes from the current price. The current price. Game Pass Ultimate on launch was $14.99, with Game Pass Basic being $9.99, right? The only thing, and you want to know what the only difference was between Game Pass Ultimate and regular Game Pass, is that it also gave you Xbox Live Gold on your console. That was the only difference. Okay? Now, since that model has been released, that 81% markup is just this price hike. That's not even considering the original model, right? Yeah. And over and over again for the last several years, everybody has been barking at like Xbox, and they're like, "Hey, is this shit really sustainable? Can you actually do this the way you say you're going to do this?" Because right now it's looking like a big fat no. Because if 3 years from now my Xbox Game Pass is going to be $25 fucking dollars just so I can get the stuff that you guys originally said was never going to leave the subscription service, right? This is an absolute joke. Like, we're getting shafted. The FTC has an ongoing court case against Microsoft right now. It is still like they're battling with Microsoft currently. They had a temporary restraining order in place, which means very different things when you're talking on a company level.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
And because basically the restraining order for this case was effectively trying to like delay the ultimate, like the end all be all closing of the deal. Because the way that like these companies acquire is like they're like, okay, we're gonna give you the money. We've bought this company, and then they have to sit and wait. Oh, and they have to wait an allotted time before they can be like, okay, now that money has officially been transferred to all appropriate hands. This deal is now closed. Now we own everything. Sans the sands, we own this now. Yeah. And that officially ended on July 14th. Yes. So now, like, we're closed. So the chances of Microsoft losing Activision Blizzard at this point, slim to none, right? Yeah, it's not going to happen. Like it's really unrealistic. Like, the money's been spent. They've already started to divest from studios that they've bought due to the merger. If for whatever reason the appeal was wholeheartedly successful, it would. We're in a bit of a double-edged sword situation, people, because we're damned if we do, damned if we don't. Right now, we can deal with price hikes, or say the FTC wins, right? And now Microsoft has to completely reverse
you know, the deal that they've made, which was several $billion. They've already proven that they can't financially sustain that. They laid off 1,900 people this year from just their first party studios. They've laid off another 300 from their third party studios. They've announced a model reformat for their biggest money making service that they own as a company. So yeah, if the FTC won, you can kiss Xbox and Activision and Blizzard fucking goodbye. Like, they won't survive a split at this point. Like, too much money has changed hands. And like, honestly, the best thing that we can hope for, in my opinion, as consumers, is that the FTC can convince all appropriate parties that we need to have like some like policies in place that like slow price hikes, not prevent, because I don't think it's simply not possible, right? Like supply and demand, economy at all, like, but like there needs to be like some stop gates in place that say like, hey, you guys have to wait X amount of years before you're legally allowed to do this shit again, because you're hurting the people that are paying for your product.
Yeah, agreed. I don't know if I ever see a situation in which the FTC will be able to shut this down at this point. What I do think, though, is that because they can't, they're going to do everything they can to keep Xbox's shit straight, to keep Microsoft's shit straight, to keep Activision shit straight, all of it. They're going to do everything they can, because what's happening now is that we're seeing Xbox seemingly grasp for straws in such a very, very peculiar way, right? Because every company in the games industry right now is financially struggling. The economy is fucking bonkers currently at the moment. That's why we're seeing all these layoffs happen. That's why we're seeing markets be incredibly, incredibly delicate. That's why we're seeing like increase in games happening. You know, like generally speaking, we're in a very, very volatile state in not just the economy, but in the games industry specifically. And Xbox is doing whatever they can to come out of the other side with that. The problem is that they have a lot of power, and their ability to do skeezy things to get to the other side of that is much more available to them than it is for the developers of Hades. You know what I mean? Like, they don't get the option to monopolize markets, you know? They don't get the option to corner markets that way. So the FTC is just like, Xbox, be cool. Be cool, bro. Be fucking cool. And they're not being fucking cool. So FTC's like, fucking told you. I told you to be fucking cool. And that's where we are now.
Like to piggyback off of that, literally, like, one of the, and you can fucking quote me on this, one of their justifications for these price hikes is that most people who own Game Pass already subscribe to the Ultimate subscription. What the fuck sort of bullshit is that? You're just gonna fuck literally everybody else who potentially wants your service?
Yeah.
Like that's a straight up anti-consumer mindset. They're like, oh yeah, all of our people are already spending $17 an hour or $17 a month, so they're not gonna mind spending 20. Fuck yeah, I do actually mind spending 20. I do care about spending $20. Also, what about everybody who doesn't have Xbox Game Pass right now, right? Like, because like you just made your product way more unappealing to them. Especially if they're people who own a console and a PC. Like, dude, I would never, unless I had like really specific things I wanted to play on my Xbox, I would fucking cancel my Ultimate subscription, just grab PC Game Pass, and literally never use my console again. It'd be a $300 fucking paperweight, because I can now get everything I want on Game Pass with unlimited performance potential because it's on PC, right? Mm-hmm. For literally half the cost.
Yeah. I want to swing this over to. I want to give DJ some time to speak on it. The last thing I want to say before I do though is very interesting that they're doing this to bolster the PC side at the same time that they're trying to act like PC sales haven't been a massive part of their economy the past couple of years. With
right, like they've already lost the console war. They've said it over and over and over again. So why are you damning the people you do have remaining on your platform?
PC guy, explain.
It's I mean, I can't. I mean, that's
Tell
just,
him, PC man.
You guys make too much sense right now. Making too much sense. I don't know, dude. It's crazy. Like I agree with what you said, Garrick. It's like, why alienate that part that literally what your entire brand focuses on, your entire company focuses on, Xbox. Why would you try to alienate that population of your community, your customers? It just doesn't make any sense. And we've always been like, even since Game Pass came up, you know, even though it was still a hard sell then to some people, you know what I mean? But we were all preaching the benefits of Game Pass. Like, oh, you can play all these fucking games, dude. Just pay, like, I don't know, you get your first 3 months free or some shit.
It was
like
the
that,
best
dude.
deal in gaming.
It was
that was literally what we told you guys.
It was $2, right? It was $2. $2. Remember? It was $2. Try it out for like the first 3 months.
For the first month.
And it was lit.
Yeah, first month,
it was so lit.
It was so good. You just install it, just do whatever. But now it is even harder sell. Like I would never be able to convince anyone out there that's a gamer to get Game Pass anymore. I don't think they even care about Call of Duty. There's even like, I don't know why they picked up these other things to be put into Game Pass. Maybe that is driving the price up. Like, you remember when EA Play is integrated into Game Pass as well? And then now Riot Games, the games are already free, first of all. I don't know why they needed to be on Game Pass. That's kind of a
weird right?
thing. Like, and which was crazy because, like, you don't even get any benefit, like, or you do get some benefits for having Game Pass and having any game in Riot Games. There is some benefits. But again, Riot Games are usually on PC. Now Valorant's on console, though, so I guess that's a thing. But
still a free-to-play title.
Still a free-to-play title. Maybe you get an extra 10% XP boost if you have Game Pass. You do
Dude,
get...
fuck. Even if you do want to play Valorant on Xbox, why the fuck would you want to play it on Xbox? It's gonna cost you $15 a month. You can boot it up for free 50 as long as you have an ISP.
Yeah. And it's very strange. It's very strange. It was from the best deal in gaming, period, to now is essentially just PlayStation Plus, whatever the fuck they got going on over there.
This is. I feel like this is straight up worse. Even though PlayStation Plus, like, model is more expensive, I feel like it's more upfront because, like, dude, like with fucking, like, at least because first off, Xbox like monthly Xbox like gold games no longer a thing. Even if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, you still get your free fucking monthly games, baby. You still get your free monthly games every fucking month, and it's 3 games. 3 games every fucking month.
Jump from 2. It used to be only 2 games, and now it's 3 games.
You can put them bitch right in your library. Right now, on the Xbox standpoint, you're paying $15 a month just for online multiplayer. $15 a month to go into a Call of Duty lobby where a 13-year-old can tell you for $15 a month that they fucked your mom more than your dad ever has. This is a joke.
Dude, and guess what? Epic Games, they give out free games for free. Like,
literally,
almost, every few months, dude, they give you like a full like 8 weeks of like fucking free games.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good to be an Xbox owner right now, like straight up.
I do have some theories here, though. I like as far as an explanation for why this could potentially be happening, right? Outside of the spectrum of just like Xbox is just, I mean, well, here's the deal, though. Even this rationalization is not good news. It's not good news. Okay, that's the bummer part about this.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's how you cut the cake, man.
So you know, the other week we were talking about how Star Wars Outlaws, right? We're like,
oh god,
fuck, this game is $130 fucking dollars. Why the fuck would we pay for this? That's an insane price point for a game. No matter how brand new and cool it looks, that's an insane amount of money, right? But if you look very closely, Ubisoft Plus's price to get the full $130 game is still the monthly $15.
$15 a month. Yep. They want you to sub up.
They want you to go and subscribe to EA Plus. That's what they want you to do. They don't want you to pay the $130. Of course, if you're going to be stupid enough to do it, they'll take your money. But what they really want is to lock you into that $15. Because what happens is you end up running into many, many people that have been like me for the past 6 months that don't pay attention to their subscription stuff.
Don't cancel their fucking
Don't cancel their shit.
Dude.
And they end up accidentally...
box gym shit. It's literally box gym shit.
They end up 6 months down the line being like, where the fuck did my $400 go? And that is $400
Ubisoft Plus
times however many people play EA Plus or Ubisoft Plus, yes, and gave that money to them, right? X amount of people. They don't want your $130. They get way more guaranteed to them out of the $15 out of them and these small amounts of people that are willing to pay the $130. I think Xbox is doing the flipperoonie of this, where they're saying, listen, you already know that this smaller price point, it's not what you want. It's not what you want. That ultimate, that's only a few dollars more, is the thing that you want. And what happens is that this PC selling point is just mumbo jumbo, right? It's just to sell the fact that more people do gaming on PCs now than they ever have before, right? Every fucking household pretty much these days has a gaming PC of some kind,
like
or
at least
another.
one.
At least
or
one.
a gaming laptop,
right?
dude.
Or a gaming laptop.
You know
like something. Like even if it's a like
Or
iBuy
a Steam
Power
Deck,
ass.
or like a Asus ROG. Like those all run Windows titles, etc.
Exactly.
You can run Game Pass shit on an Asus.
It's unprecedented. And so now Xbox gets to say things like, we're listening to you PC players. And all these PC players are like, me? And you're like
we've been on our own for like however many years, you know what I'm saying?
And we're paying attention to you. We're watching you guys. They're on PC. Here's what we can offer you. And these PC players are like, me? Oh, that's so sweet of you, Xbox. But you know what? I'll just get Ultimate anyways. And they're walking away with pennies on the dollar. Okay, every fucking dollar you give them, they're just walking away like fucking bandits every single time. Because here's the deal. I'm still going to pay for Ultimate. It fucking kills me. But I already have it. I might as well fucking keep it, right? And just to Garrick's point, I hardly touch my Xbox. The only reason I now touch my Xbox is because I don't always trust my PC is going to be able to stream the gameplay for us at the same time that I'm playing on the PC cleanly. So sometimes I will play on my Xbox instead, just so I don't have any frame drops or anything like that. It's silky smooth. That's once every like 2 months, man. Every time I turn my Xbox on now,
when a new interesting Game Pass title launches, and honestly, that's not always like Game Pass has been pretty indie lately. So like, there's a lot of niche titles being released. Like
it's not like
we're getting fucking AAA bangers every month.
Oh, dude, no. And so now I have this machine that I turn on once a month, and every time I do, I have to do this massive update cycle where when I turn it on, like nothing opens, and I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on? Right? I'm like, oh shit, stupid. I gotta update the entire fucking console. So I have to do an entire update cycle and then restart the console over again, and then be like, okay, what game do I need to download? Right? So it's a like whole ass like 30-minute endeavor every time that I turn my Xbox on, because I never turn it on anymore. ever. If I'm playing Xbox, it's on my computer now because my computer can handle it, right? And Xbox offers everything on PC that they offer on console, right? Not vice versa.
Yeah.
You think-
Everything that's
yeah.
on console is on PC, but not everything that's on PC is on console. Their
And
catalog is
that's
actually fucking bigger
Yeah.
on PC.
Yeah.
You think the
Fucking-
next Xbox
unless you're
is just a
unless
PC?
you're including like 360 games. And who the fuck wants Game Pass for 360 games?
Yeah,
Come on.
and you
Dorks.
could barely run it on your PC too if you decide to download it on your PC.
Exactly.
What is it?
Mm-hmm.
And
facts, man.
also, I feel like the next Xbox is going to be just a PC. It's literally just a PlayStation, just in an Xbox
Right.
shell. They
I've
said
got-
fuck
I've
the
got an
proprietary
inkling
software,
feeling, yeah.
fuck the OS.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck.
This bitch
fuck
is gonna run
the
Windows.
UI.
It's gonna be the
It's just gonna
Microsoft
run Windows,
PC,
and it's
yeah.
basically a PC because
Uh-huh.
It's gonna be the
that's
mi-
what they
yeah.
are.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
Yeah,
all
at
of
this
them,
point.
every single console is just a PC. It's just like they just have their own OS.
Which is
set
the
up.
yep.
It's
I see one more console generation before they're finally just like, here's your small computer. And they like,
Yeah.
but we're
Yep.
already at that. But we're almost already at that point.
Exactly.
Because we're at the point at diminishing returns. I think. I don't think shit can get better than this. Really. Like
I don't think
in
the
terms of
next console
technology.
gen will be a big jump from what we have available.
The only thing I
don't
see
see
jumping
either.
is VR, and like VR is going to take a few more years, probably
Yeah.
like 5 more years for it.
yeah,
like, actually
I'd
decent
say
enough.
that,
Yeah,
that sounds
but,
about right. That feels about right.
But guys, the FTC is out here fighting the good fight for us right now. We know, we were even guilty of this a little bit when we were covering this deal throughout the thing. You know, like it was very easy to we were all kind of rooting for this merger because we saw it as the potential return to glory for Activision Blizzard. Right? We didn't necessarily understand all of the consumer ramifications that this deal and merger was going to bring about. The FTC, lo and behold, had a little bit more of an idea of what these guys were up to behind the scenes. And they're not as much as the bad guy as we initially maybe had thought that they were. Because right now we're getting the big old fucking stick right up the pooper, and it doesn't feel great.
Right up the pooper. Yeah, right up.
Right
Do
up
you
the
get any
pooper.
Diablo
And
stuff
so-
for
Just like this.
Game Pass? Do you get
This.
Diablo anything for Game Pass?
I'm pretty sure
Or
Diablo
Overwatch?
is Diablo 4 on Game Pass. Diablo
It's-
4
I
is
don't
on Game
think
Pass, but I don't think
it?
yeah, it is on Game Pass now. But I don't think it's but I guarantee you Vessel of Hatred won't be.
Oh yeah, you'll probably have to pay for that expansion. I'm sure.
Yeah, you'll probably have to, and it'll probably be a $40 expansion, right? Which is crazy to buy an expansion for a title you don't own.
It's not on. It's
Um,
not on PC Game Pass. It's not on. PC.
Oh, it's not? Okay, I could have been
Oh,
misspoken.
it was on there and they removed it. I remember that. It was
Maybe
like
it was a
time thing.
limited.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say maybe it was a limited thing. But yeah,
Weird.
so the FTC, they're out here, they're swinging for us right now, folks, because they literally fucking showed up and was just like, I fucking told you so. And now
know
we're
what it
having to
is.
deal with what the I told you so. And it's affecting all of our wallets at home, unfortunately. I'm sure as this wild story continues to unfold, we will visit the bigger stuff for you guys. But we were going to get into the remainder of our content schedule for the rest of the week for you guys before we sign on off for the night. We do not have a splash damage this week. Maybe we'll try to come back around to Hypercharge Unboxed for you guys another time. I know the Concord beta was something that was just kind of an impromptu thing, and we felt the need to do that for y'all. But this Thursday, no gameplay because the superhero movie of the year is coming up, folks.
God damn, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, so we are all going to be going and seeing Deadpool and Wolverine this Thursday evening. So this Friday, we can give you guys a spoiler-free review of that same film on 20,000 Films Under the Sea at 7 p.m. that evening. So if you're for whatever reason, if you're one of the folks feeling the superhero burnout and you're not sure if Deadpool is something you want to go spend your $20 on to go to put your butt in front of that big silver screen, join us on Friday, and we'll hopefully we can convince you one way or another if that is worth your time. Please let us know what you guys feel about the FTC versus the FTC Xbox
Xbox Activision merger, like the appeal that it has going on, or if you guys even have any thoughts on that, or if you guys feel affected by this recent price hike, or if you guys are gonna cancel your subscriptions or anything like that, let us know. But we have feelings on this. We got strong feelings on it, just like you guys do. Because this has been Good Kraken's Death Ratio, your choice for all of the nerdy video game news, reviews, and discussions that you want to hear live each and every Tuesday at 7 p.m. West Coast, Best Coast time. If you liked what you heard here tonight, you can head on over to our Discord channel where you can submit questions and topics to the show, get exclusive content, and have early access to episodes before they go live on video service and podcast services wherever you like to watch or listen. You guys can also support us by going over to our YouTube channel, clicking that beautiful bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Death Ratio wherever you like to listen and leaving a review there. We gotta get going, folks, but until next time.
The best podcast in gaming, baby. This is the best podcast.
Hey, let's
in
go.
gaming.
I'll take it. Fuck you, Xbox.